Okay, this morning we're going to work on something that has been bothering me ever since I got this camper, and it's this fat piece right here. As you can see, the camper already has this base piece on it. Camper comes down, this is the base that the camper sits on, and then this is the flatbed right here. Why they made the flatbed 2 inches wider here, I don't really know, but we're going to find out. And the reason I hate it not only is because it looks kind of dumb, why this doesn't go straight down, but because the bed sticks out wider than the cab. I don't know if you can see it right there. The doors on the Ford can't fold flat on the bed like they were designed to do, because if you open them up and you fold them, they hit this corner right here. So I'm going to take this camper off, I'm going to take the bed off, and I'm going to try to thin this whole thing down so it's exactly the width of the camper base. Now that the camper's off, you can see how the bed's built. It has these 4 holes, one in each corner, and then you can see how much wider the bed is than the cab up there. Now, the camper shell comes down just inside, or I should say the camper base comes in just inside this piece right here. So I have to take out this amount of space on each side, which exactly is 2 inches. I think it's 2 inches. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This on this side, and the same amount on this side. Now in the back, we have plenty of space. I don't know if you can see that spring right there, that spring bolt. There's way more than 2 inches between that spring bolt and the side of the box right there. So in the back, it's going to be no problem to thin it down. Now the front's a different story. Get under here. You can see where the box is right there. If that focuses. See where the frame comes across right there that holds up the channel that's hooked to the bottom of it. It's definitely less than 2 inches. But what it looks like is that rubber damper right there that holds, that's bolted to this C-channel that holds the actual bed on. Looks like it has some wiggle room in there. I could probably cut that down and cut its base down and thin that down right here and right here, box it in again, and then I'll have enough space without having to cut the back out of this box. If I have to, I'll have to cut the back out of this box and cut some thickness out of the box and put it back together, but I don't think I'm going to have to. I think it looks like I'll be able to thin those mounts down and save myself a lot of time, but either way, the whole bed's got to come off. After starting to unbolt that box, I just realized I may have a problem here. Instead of unbolting it from those 3 bolts, probably should just take this plate off, because it looks like I'm going to have to move that plate over anyway because of this channel on the outside. So yeah, to save myself some work, I'm just going to take those 3 bolts out of the top there. Alright, there's what the box looks like off the truck. You can see how it's just put together here. Got the light mounted in the top. Pretty basic. Now I got to do that 4 more times. Alright, all 4 boxes are off. Now you can really see the structure underneath. You have that cross brace in the back, the cross brace in the front, all mounted to those dampeners, 1 in each corner, that are bolted to the frame, and some sort of block system here that they have put in. I'm going to take all that apart because I don't know. And this one's real close to the frame out here. This one hangs over quite a bit. It's almost like those could be repositioned. I don't know how those are built inside. I don't know if those bolts are welded in there and then they're just dropped in. That's how it's done, because it doesn't look like there's access to it. Got to take the bumper off. Got to unplug the wiring harnesses. Then unbolt those. I think I'm going to take those 4 bolts out there and leave the cross members in, just to make it simple. And just lift the whole thing off. Maybe I have to use the front end loader. We'll have to see. That's kind of dumb. They riveted that lid on there. You can't get to this bolt unless you push the lid in to get to that access hole. This bolt is right here. It has to go here to open it up, to get the bolt out, to take the drawer out, but you can't push the lid in. You can't, oh Jesus Christ. So it looks like I'm drilling some rivets out. One size bigger. I'll be changing those over to machine screws, because that's just dumb. Sorry. The bed and truck have been separated. Gives you a little bit better view of what's going on under here. Looks like I'm going to have to shorten the fuel filler, which is no big deal. But here is the main part that I need to concentrate on. It's these. See how, boy, I don't know, look how unsquare, out of square that bottom plate is compared to the top. I have a little bit of space here. See, this is where the aluminum C channel is, and this is the bolt. So I can easily move this over closer to that, which looks like it's going to gain me about maybe 3/4 of an inch or maybe a whole inch, something like that. Looks like that is loose. So that's probably not the best of ideas. It probably shouldn't be loose, I'm going to guess. I don't know. I don't know much about this system, but that's supposed to be tight. I'm guessing that the rubber dampener in between them, this is supposed to be hooked to the top and this is supposed to be hooked to the bottom, and the dampener absorbs the movement. I don't know. The back ones don't have to be modified at all. Plenty of space. And this one's tight. That one's tight. This one's loose. That's kind of odd. Is that whole thing turning? The whole bolt's turning. Okay, so that's a through bolt. Goes all the way down. So it has a lock nut at the bottom. So is that how it changes how much flex it has in it, maybe? I mean, that tightens it up right there. I don't know. That is weird. So I'm going to have to take this all apart and see how this is supposed to work. Because that's it. So you can't loosen it much and you can't tighten it much. That's about it both ways. So obviously it's threaded into something, plus it has the lock nut at the bottom. After looking at this damper for a while, I think I figured out, well, I have some idea on how it works and how they set it up. This through bolt goes all the way through and it helps to secure this to the flatbed and make sure that this doesn't rip off this dampener and come all the way off the truck. So the bolt goes through and it has a stop nut at the bottom or a lock nut at the bottom. That way, if the dampener would fail, the rubber would fail inside, the whole thing wouldn't come off. That's what I'm assuming how it works. So probably these bolts here hook this block down, and then this through bolt goes through the whole system. What I'm going to do is take that crossbar off and see how exactly it functions, to see where I can gain some distance inside there. Spacer inside there, so keeps it from crushing that dampener all the way down, I'm gonna guess. Maybe the dampener's threaded inside, I don't know. Oh my! Holy crap! Oh, that is heavy. Gee, my knee. Whoa! So they built this block, mounted it to the original bed frame. It's not mounted on here square, that's for sure. Looks like I could probably remake this, clock it slightly, and gain a little bit of space here to get around the box right here on the edge. If I took this block, changed it, turned it, and made this flat along the edge, and then cut this down this way so it matches this here. Let's go over the other side and look at it. Yeah, same way here. See, this bolt doesn't go through to the frame rail. They do have 3 bolts. I don't know if you can see them. Let me go to the other side. Just the weirdest thing. You have 3 bolts going through that block to the frame rail. I don't know, I'm gonna take that block off and see. I'm only gonna do one side at a time. That way I don't lose the alignment on the bed. Go the right way. That would help to get it off there. Go the right way. Alright, here it is. So you can see they welded 3 bolts in on the original mount in this block. I guess to space it up enough to get the camper high enough over the bed, but the camper's really high, I'm sorry, over the cab. And then put the dampener on here, and then the through bolt goes through the middle, out the bottom, and has the stop nut on there to help secure it. I guess that'll work. I'm still trying to figure out why it's just so crooked and why they mounted it in that direction. I guess they weren't worried about bed width. So let's see if I can do a little better with this.